You there! This is Dave and Jason.
Hey!
From DC On Screen. It's that time again. We need help from you to grow our show. But keep listening because there's something in it for you. Give us a 5-star written review on iTunes for a chance to win a free DC trade paperback, DVD, or Blu-ray valued at $15 or less. 1 in 10 will win. The winner will be randomly selected with a number generator on random.org and announced on one of our news episodes. It's pretty simple, really.
Free stuff!
Hooray! Anyway, yeah, seriously, do that. It helps us a lot. It's, like, so good. Anyway, sit back. Enjoy this brand new episode of DC On Screen. Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 229. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This, my trusty co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
Today we're going to get super spoilery on The Flash 303, Magenta. To recap, Jesse and Harry make their way back to Earth 1 and find that things have changed. They therefore know that Barry mucked around with the timeline. Jesse has gained speedster powers, and Harry doesn't want Jesse to become a superhero. She wants nothing more. Wally's disappointed Jesse got powers after getting hit with the dark matter, and he didn't. He has dreams about getting powers, just like Magenta does, and seems to be bent on getting speedster abilities any way he can. Magenta was created by Dr. Alchemy, hospitalizes her abusive foster father, and almost drops a freaking ship on a hospital to do away with him once and for all. Luckily, the Flash and Jesse Quick were there to stop her. After helping Flash save the hospital, Jesse receives a gift from Harry, a badass new suit. Also, cute Iris and Barry things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Before we jump in, our buddy Christopher White says, okay, so Jesse Quick makes an amazing debut and we finally get more Wells, and that's never a bad thing. However, I'm really glad that in the end Wally was totally fine with not getting his powers and that he doesn't have it in his head to go see Alchemy and get his speed. Not.
It's, we all know that's coming, right?
Yeah.
At this point, if they don't do it, I'll be impressed, because then you'll have fooled me.
Yeah. By the way, the not thing, wonderful callback to the actual episode with Wells saying not
Wells.
constantly.
Yeah.
And I love that Cisco was like, hey, is that like is Earth 2 just saying not now? And nope, that's just him.
Jesse just got, no, that's my embarrassing father. Just doing that.
I've missed Harry.
Oh yeah, it was good to have him back. I want them to stay forever.
Did you see the promo for next week?
Not yet.
There's like a bit where Wells, where Harry does like this deep growl voice, and he's like, "You'll all pay," like in this Zoom voice, and they all look at him. He's like, I'm just kidding. That was a really bad joke. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
So anyway,
started off great. This episode, even the first part was like the days seem like years, all that. I've always loved those little insights to his character, that just going through life at the normal everyday speed is just torture.
Yeah, that's fun.
And over the course of this episode, I decided I liked how Tom Felton's playing his antagonistic asshole lab partner.
You liked what now? Sorry.
Julian, his little the guy who's determined to figure out who he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm starting to really like it. I'm thinking more Julian, not Draco Malfoy. Like, that's when I know I'll really like him as a character, is when I see him and I don't think about Harry Potter. And I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I haven't seen more than 10 minutes of Harry Potter. So I'm good here.
Yeah.
I actually did write here, Julian is a dick, but fun.
Yeah, what I wrote. Something like, pain in the ass, but I like how he's playing it. Those are my phrase. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Enjoyed that he went and got the glass from Magenta so he could analyze her DNA.
That was the scene where I decided I really liked him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just really loved how he was just like bitching Barry out about the time.
Mm-hmm.
That was just, all of that's fun. I was actually pretty on board Magenta killing her foster dad. He was kind of a dick.
I mean, just taking out the whole hospital seems, that's literally overkill.
Mm-hmm.
But, I wouldn't mind if she offed him. I think the rest of the team...
that was kind of the thing.
I love Iris is rolling him down the hallways there, trying to get everybody out, and says something like, something like I help people. That's what I do. Even dicks like you.
She said, as much as it pains me to help an abusive dick like you.
There you go. I don't know why it seems so abrasive. I was like, this is CW? Can we say abusive dick on CW?
Sure you can. She did. But I think that's why they went the overkill route, because that bothered me as well. I think they went the overkill, I'm going to put a freaking ship over a hospital route, because she's not really a villain if all she's doing is taking out her foster dad. Yeah. Because he was such a dick. You're like, why are they trying to stop her again?
I mean, yeah, you think Caitlin or Cisco would have kind of raised their hand at somebody. I mean, killing's bad and all, but why are we putting this much effort into this?
Mm-hmm. And so they had to make it a big deal. They had to have her kind of go off the deep end, and because otherwise she's not a villain. She's just a good citizen.
Just someone standing up for herself.
Well within her right to take him out. I thought she already had killed him. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I thought they were going to go like a route at first, like when the lamppost flies in, hits him. I was like, oh, sweet, man. They killed him. Then she's just going to be going through the city and being like, I don't like this person because he cut me off in traffic.
Oh, they were going to go like her own personal vigilante streak.
Yeah, sort of like how I would if I had superpowers.
Use your blinker.
Like, oh, yeah. You decided now, you're just going to cut me off? Okay. Boom. Your head just exploded.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy.
Just very angry driver.
Anyway. I wouldn't really do that.
No, not really. But let's face it, we've all thought about it. You get cut off in the middle
if I have superpowers, I'm not driving anywhere.
This is true. Well, I've said before that if I actually had the ability to fly, my feet would never touch the floor again. Just never. I would just hover down hallways.
Oh no, man! You'd have to. You got to have those iconic landing shots.
I think that may be the only time I would do it, is just to pull off the cool landing shot. That's it. But it's a hell of a power move too. Like if you're having a discussion with somebody, just float above them in the air. Just float a couple of feet above their head. Mm-hmm. You'll start winning a lot more arguments.
Yeah. So one thing I loved about this episode, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll bring this up or you'll change it and tell me how I'm wrong and explain to me how I'm wrong. But for those of you who saw Fringe season 4, where they have completely overwritten the timeline, they are combating that here. Even though they've rewritten the timeline, they're combating that here by bringing in Wells and Jesse Quick, who remember the original timeline.
Well, it is the dynamics in this show, and I think I disagree with them just theoretically, but
yeah, I feel like they're grounding the show.
Well, it seems like
by having more characters
in
who
the physics of this universe, the other universe didn't change when he changed the timeline. So timeline in E1 changed, timeline in E2 kept going the same. Didn't matter that Barry went back and changed time. And my instinct is that time would trump, X and Y any day. It doesn't matter what Earth or what dimension you were on. I would think time would trump it. But it's all playland physics, whatever.
So you're saying that, and I can kind of see that, like if they were like their time in Earth 1 would have changed.
Well, if you change time in Earth 1 and it has that like loop back effect that it had here, I would think the other dimensions or universes or E2, 3, 4, whatever would all change too. But
sure,
legitimately they can't have done that because they changed stuff on E1, but they'd have to change Supergirl 2 now.
Also, there's the idea this in this universe has been laid down, and it's valid in as much as any time travel theory is valid.
Yeah, it's all like I said. It's a sandlot for physics. You just as long as you establish your rules, go for it. Doesn't matter.
Right, but they've already established the rule that once they change something in the past, it takes a while to ripple forward.
Yeah, the cementing.
Yeah, I would imagine it takes a lot longer to reach Earth 2.
Yeah, even if it does have that effect.
Universe. Yeah. So, and they also have the little bit where they're like, oh well, we're outside of the time stream, so we're immune to the blah blah blah, which is why we're not. All right, well maybe that works for Earth 2 as well. And maybe maybe it'll
in whatever
like too much change.
In whatever, however you want to explain it. Maybe between each dimension, there's this little vacuum of time that kind of protects them.
Mm-hmm. That apparently does not work on dog tags, by the way. But
I guess, yeah. Well, dog tags are very light.
Next episode.
They go very quickly. Yeah, I could sit there and talk all day about just good lines and good interactions that were in this episode. I mean,
oh yeah,
says he's calling herself Magenta. Cisco's back there. Meh. It's so a legitimate improvement in this universe. The panic button on everyone's phones.
Yes,
he actually says at least something's better. You know?
Yeah, like panic button. Yeah, because we keep getting kidnapped.
Because we keep getting kidnapped. I would have that installed under my wrist, man. I would want a little transmitter that I could like hit with one finger that says, "Flash, come help me."
Oh man, favorite line of the episode comes from Harry. Of course, if Harry's going to be in there, my favorite line is probably going to be his.
Yeah.
I was always too good at forgiving myself, Alan, and you were never good enough.
Yeah, it was great.
It's a great line.
It was.
It's lines like that. So good.
And the Flash
when
talking...
Harry said,
Go ahead.
sorry, when Harry said, "Run, Jesse, run," I shed a tear, man.
Big old grin on my face. I didn't know it would work if it wasn't Run Barry, but sure enough, Run Jesse, Run works just fine.
It does.
I was just ear to ear, and they cute interactions though, like with Magenta and Flash in the climax there. Yeah, he tells her, "I got a little help, so I could help you." It's a good starting line, and then kind of wraps the whole thing up with, "We have faith in you, Frankie." Well, he does that later, but if the Flash told me like, "We have faith in you," I think I would buckle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was thinking later.
Good episode.
Yeah. Two things I was thinking later, though. There was a lot of cute Iris and Barry stuff, but something kind of struck me. He takes her off to this cute little veranda or whatever that was to talk to her. Like, no, we should embrace the fact that I'm the Flash. Like, come here. And grabs her, and two things struck me. One, those are very sturdy roses. And you saw him, right?
Well, you see the force field around Barry and Iris while he's in the speed. No.
Extends to... or just say roses are immune to time. What? But he like takes her out there, and then he has to go actually be the Flash somewhere else, and she's just kind of wherever she was, she's stuck there. Like she's gonna have so many Uber charges in her future when she's dating Barry. Mm-hmm. Like, let's go to this restaurant across town. Great, way away from my car.
I assume she stood there for like. I assume she stood there for like 10 minutes, maybe, tops, before he zoomed back. He's like, "Oh, okay, that was just a robbery. It was good. Let's go."
Well, yeah, like in the first scene where he's gone for, 3 seconds to stop the robbery? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's their understanding is when she gets stranded somewhere, like, "Hold on, I'll be right back. I promise, just hang out here. No, don't spend money on a cab. I'll be back in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I felt really bad for Wally this entire episode.
I did. But and I'd already made a note, kind of coming in. They hadn't mentioned much about his not being the Flash, and the kind of last episode, everyone agreed that they didn't want to know what they were, and he was on board with that. So
sure, there
was some little note that Joe had a suspicion that something was maybe different with Wally, substantially different from Wally, but that was really it. And so early on in this episode, I was already thinking, man, I really hope that's not all we see of that. And the episode answered me just immediately. Just like there was a look on his face when they were talking about Jesse. I was, oh, okay, all right, cool. We are going to do that. We're going to do this.
Yep.
Great.
By the way, I love the speed room.
Which one's the speed room?
Or the speed lab. The lab that Barry and Wells and Jesse have never been to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That apparently has been there the entire time. Hence, he's like, "Yeah, we've never been to this room. You changed the timeline, didn't you?" Yeah.
I mean, Harry figuring that out immediately was just perfect. How many times did I tell you not to do that? I know. Sorry.
I love the dad cop thing.
Yeah. Everything including the words dad cop was fantastic.
Like, Wally's not like you. You overshare your feelings. You're her second daughter. What?
Just messing with you, Barry.
But he wasn't.
But no, he wasn't. Yeah, he does. He
overshares
totally
something he's thought of. He's really just considered this a lot.
Yeah.
And Barry's his second daughter. What the hell's he talking about?
It was a good bit.
Oh, man. I loved Harry being a frantic parent of a superpowered kid. That was just delightful as hell.
His whole scene trying to get Caitlin into to go talk to her was just perfect Kavanaugh. That's one of the reasons we love him so much. When you give him just a giant chunk of dialogue and say, "You've got like 4 seconds to say all this," those are some of the best scenes.
Mm-hmm. Great episode. I'm not disappointed with this season of The Flash so far. I guess I was a little disappointed with Flashpoint only being one episode, and they were really talking. Like I just saw, like they actually did say that. I guess we'll talk about it in our news episode. But,
we'll let that up in a few days. But yeah, they addressed that.
It was originally it was supposed to be multiple episodes, and they just decided like, no, it would, be better for the season to just do one episode and focus more on the repercussions after Flashpoint, which makes sense.
Just practically makes more sense because if they didn't just go ahead and get that done, wrap it up, and say, no, here's where we are now. We were going to be bitching about inconsistencies between all the shows. Mm-hmm. I mean, every week would have been watching Arrow, wondering, are you is this where you slipped up? Or?
No. Here's the thing, though. And I think I was talking to Christopher White about this the other day. Here's the thing. I wish they'd do. Cut it down to 13 episodes a season. Be more concise. Have more money, more budget for your shows, for all of your shows. But in the summertime, put out, like, you film at the same time you normally do. But at the summertime, instead, you just do, like, a big crossover event. Put the crossover, like, in a big event in the summertime. That's, like, 2 or 3 movies. That's what I think. Sort of like a Christmas special, like Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's
like
the format I was thinking
or
of.
Something. Yeah, I kind of feel like they could do that. They'd still be saving themselves a few episodes per season, making a tighter season.
You wouldn't even have to
anyway
do it to all of the shows. You could just put Legends back on 13 and we are going to talk about it next. But until the last few weeks, I would have said, and Arrows, we could probably cut that one down, but. I
think it makes a better show to do. I think it makes a better show to do 13 episodes. At the most 13, just because it cuts out all the filler. Like you're not forced to try to find other stories.
Yeah,
and they'd have more budget. They kept the budget the same. They'd have more budget to make the shows look more cinematic, like a Daredevil or something. Mm-hmm. Not to draw comparisons with Marvel on purpose, but Daredevil's really killing it. Yeah. So. But yeah, loving the Flash. Just I just have my own thoughts on what they should do with production. But
yeah,
to me, it just feels like it would make sense to get your crossover out in like a little mini movie as opposed to like actually interrupting the storyline in the season.
Yeah, I could get behind it, but I kind of like having it around 23 weeks a year to look forward to. Like, I'm not opposed to what you're saying in theory. It's so nice to be able to look forward. I mean, that's nearly half of your year where you've got there's a Flash episode next week. New Flash. Woo.
Yeah, I feel you. I agree in theory to some degree, but the quality over quantity thing kind of messes with me. I'd rather have quality over quantity. And there's so many shows out there. I can look forward to a lot of different shows.
Yeah, I understand.
Anyway, still loving the Flash. But they're going to have to up their game if they're going to stay ahead of Arrow, I think. Because Arrow is now like
they're
kicking
really
it up.
Kind of pushing each other right now. Yeah.
Iron sharpening iron.
Another Harry line. I had my favorite was, you've always been my hero, but now it's time for me to let you be one for everyone else. Kind of as he's giving her the costume.
Yeah. That, that whole scene, man.
Very touching. Very Flash.
I was just sitting there with my chin warbling. Trying to hold it together, man.
And, it was a good episode, but I did get to see the promo for next week on this one. And, man, Mirror Master.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to see him since they told me there was a Flash show.
Uh-huh.
Just like the guy's power. Just think it's neat. That's all. Nothing really serious going on here. Just think it's neat. And now that I've watched how they've done everybody's powers on this show, now I really want to see it. So, they're doing it right. He just controls reflective surfaces.
And you know what? Every week, I feel like every week that we don't have Geomancer is another good week.
It's another good week, yeah.
Oh, thank God, no Geomancer.
Another bullet dodged.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm with you. We'll move on to. We're already teasing ourselves about talking about Arrow. Will.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thank you guys for listening to DC on Screen. You can find every episode at dconscreen.com. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever pods are caught. We're proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, giantsizeteamup.com. Go check out the other awesome shows on that website. Also proud members of the Batman Podcast Network. We're going to be coming back talking about Arrow 503, A Matter of Trust. And guys, was a good episode. So come talk with us about it. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen.